to our Morning Throners podcast. I'm Nelson.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Kyle. And we're the fucking Morning Throners.
Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Song of Ice and Fire podcast. We're the Morning Throners. Quickie tonight. Little Sansa 5 on deck. Little 7-pager. Hope you guys read it as fast as us.
What a bummer after that last one, man.
This is the calm before the storm. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be in the castle. I want to be out there. See what's happening.
Did you see who the next chapter is?
Davos, so I guess that's out there, right? But
Dude, I used to look ahead so much when I was a kid. Like, all right, how many fucking chapters do I have left?
Yeah, but Kyle's not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
how many do we have left?
Not many. There's 69. and we're at 57.
So, Kyle, not too fond of it? I mean, it is pretty... There's not much silence.
I just, like I said, I want to be out there. You get a little bit of, a little
Yeah.
bullshit here and there, and, a little Cersei action, a little Tyrion action, but...
It's showing you what the people deal with. Not the average person, but...
Yeah, I'll tell you very frankly, I don't remember... I remember, obviously, what happens, but I don't remember the details of what happens or, like, the manner of how we see it. So...
You're talking about in the battle?
Yeah, obviously I know what happens, but I don't remember in the manner of which we see it.
I want to see the whores.
Shay's helping Lolly's here. That's a whore.
I meant the 3 whores.
Just imagine, you're setting up for war back in the day, and you get hit by the catapult. Like, that's how you die.
That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. Much preferred to getting like a limb hacked off and
bleeding to
agony
death
on the ground.
Yeah,
you just get splattered. It's
I
like
mean, I
hit
guess
by a bus, hit by a train.
I feel like those two are not mutually exclusive. Like you can have a limb knocked off from a catapult.
Yeah. All right, let's just say
I feel
like
if you're gonna get hit, it's gonna
like these catapults got to be coming from pretty far away.
These are like the biggest catapults in the realm. It sounds like
Okay,
it's got to be a huge rock, and it's got to be coming from far away. So my point is, imagine watching a flying rock. Maybe it's dark out. I don't know. We don't know the time of day. Is it dark out enough?
No, it's daytime.
Could you watch this big ass rock come flying and just smash you in the face? Like,
for sure.
You have no spatial awareness. Give me a little tumble.
That's what I'm saying. It probably would look like you probably wouldn't realize it was headed. You'd be like, that kind of looks like it might hit me. And then before you know it, it's going to hit you.
Back to the rock size thing. I think, yes. Well, okay, hold on. I was thinking you could go shotgun style with smaller rocks, but then they might go way too far. But as long as you have a bunch of smaller rocks.
Not do the effect that you'd want.
No, the catapult is to scatter.
Instead of having like a rock like what like we got to say something for the size of a love seat.
Volkswagen Beetle.
Instead of that, have like 100 basketball size rocks.
Yeah.
If that hits you in the torso, dead. Head,
that's
dead.
not. I doubt that's what they're shooting.
Sure, but I don't think they can fit 100. They're not fitting 100 basketballs. Like maybe 5 basketballs in the. I don't know how big the 3 whores are.
How many of those basketball size rocks equate to the weight of the Volkswagen Beetle rock? That's how many you can fit in there. It's probably like 100, like a fuck ton. I don't think it's 100, but I mean the volume. If they're made of the same material, the volume would be roughly the same. Plus, you'd have the volume of the smaller ones would be bigger because you have gaps inside. So you have a ton.
But the smaller ones would be full of air because they're basketball. Like that.
Shut up. You know what I mean? They're rocks.
What do you guys think on the Discord? If you got hit in the face with the catapult and it was just one rock and not a shotgun shell, you got to feel pretty bad about your prowess as a soldier.
I mean, there's probably nowhere to go, like, at that point, right? Like,
yeah, because if there's all of them coming in, you dodge one and get hit by another.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was just 3 big-ass rocks coming.
Yeah, easier to dodge.
And not 300, like you're saying. Like, obviously, that makes it a lot different. If it's 300 basketballs or 3 Volkswagen Beetles, I'm going to have a pretty good idea of where this Beetle's landing, and I'm going to make sure that I'm not running on that path. It's like catching a fly ball. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I think like the small ones might be better, but like what are you shooting at? Are you shooting at like a huge army of people where like they're in formation? Then the Volkswagen's probably going to, even if they try and get away, they're going to be tripping over each other. And it's going to roll.
Well, that's the point, Nelson. So that's what I was trying to say before. Like, it's to break morale and scatter ranks and, mess up enemy movement and stuff. So I don't think you're shotgun. I think you're shooting bigger stuff that's, terrifying, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
And like precision aimed, a little better.
I think either could work for sure. I'm just saying, if you got hit in the face with one, you need to figure something out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, We'll just look at artillery, right? So I mean, that's all it is. It's ancient artillery. They should have built trebuchets, but we don't have to go there. Trebuchets far superior to a catapult. But like if you look at artillery, that's all it is, right? So it's like cannon shot. They have scatter shot cannons. They have, they also have cannonballs. Like they have scatter shot missiles, and they have pinpoint precision missiles.
I give the people in the Revolutionary War a little bit more slack, but when you just see this like giant arm throwing, if it is one big rock, you need to work on your lateral movement, or just move forward, or just find a way. You got to find a way to win there. Can't let that hit you.
All right, somebody needs to we got to take him to pumpkin chunking, and you stand down range. And
how far do I have?
Get out of the way.
Do I have to catch it? I'll get out of the way 10 times out of 10.
No, don't think big, Kyle. We're not going to go to pumpkin chunking. We're going to enter pumpkin chunking. We're going to make our own trebuchet.
And it throws beetles, and how much we'll paint like a pumpkin.
What am I? 50 yards away? If I'm 50 yards away from you guys throwing pumpkins at me,
it's got to be more than 50.
With a trebuchet, we're with a home built trebuchet.
You'll never even come close to hitting me. I guarantee it.
What if you're not allowed to move, and we get 3 shots?
You'll have more of a chance, but That's saying
like the exact opposite of what he was saying.
You have to stand still, and I get 3 shots.
Without sighting it in, you'll never hit me.
No, the first 2 shots would be me trying to sight it in.
I mean, yeah, you have a better, but if I can move, you'll never hit me.
We have talked way too long about catapults.
Not even talk about catapults.
Not even in the chapter.
No, people are dying. People are screaming. They hear.
Yeah, I know, but like this isn't even in the chapter.
All right, Kyle, not excited. Kyle's not excited. Let's just get into it then. Kyle's not excited. Let's just.
This was better than the chapter, so I'll put it that way.
All right, so Sansa everyone's just getting ready, right? Everyone's getting ready for battle. Battle's already happening. There's a bunch of songs being sung, songs of war, songs of prayer, songs of yada yada.
They're here.
Yeah, the enemies, you can see the enemy
sails on the horizon.
What's Sansa doing there, chilling? Why isn't she inside, Kyle?
Joffrey requested her presence. She's a bitch. She kind of wanted to see the glamour of it all, I think, too, though, to be honest.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
She's always been obsessed with knights, so of course she wants to go see,
This is the first war anyone in her generation is going to see, right? Or the first battle.
Well, it's definitely the first that she's seen, right? Because, we've already had all the stuff. Like, this war has been going on.
All the people that were in the river. I'm saying, I guess. Yeah. This is the first war that her generation has seen, and this is her first opportunity to see the battle. So I'm sure there's some wander there.
And it starts off with her thinking about the gods. She's thinking that everyone inside's praying to the mother because basically everybody inside is mothers and wives and children.
Just has a family member out there.
Yeah. So they're praying to the mother for the protection of their family, which is kind of like what the mother does, is like protect the family. Mm-hmm. And she thinks that everybody on the walls is praying for the warrior who's like gives strength to my arm fight. And does all this. Yeah. And she has this like weird like conflict, which is kind of like a mirror. Again, I'm not like a super religious person, but I think like they have this in Christianity, Catholicism, where the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost are like 3 aspects of the one God.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity, yeah. So Sansa basically remembers Septa telling her the same thing about that's basically how the 7 gods work. Is the mother and the warrior are basically just the same thing, two aspects of the same God. And she's like, if there's only one, who are they going to hear? Which doesn't really make sense. Like just like all the prayers are going to the same person.
I mean, if each prayer. Right. And if each prayer, like, all right, let's just think about Nelson going to war. Like he's praying like, hey, help me survive this war. And his mom's at home praying, hey, help him survive this war. It's like, as long as one of them's heard, you should be protected. Yeah. Right. You're praying for this.
And now this is a little different because like, obviously Stannis has a different guy, but like, what if they're all praying to the same fucking gods?
Yeah.
Like,
the other side's praying to the same gods, and it's 50-50. That someone's got to be taken.
Oh, yeah. You're saying Stannis' side.
Yeah. Like I said, Stannis is a little different, but I mean, like, there could be people over that are still praying to the same, right?
Yep.
It makes me think of, like, the Bruce Almighty, where, like, they come in as emails. Just, like, the 7 gods are just, like, 7 different inboxes, like Mother, Warrior, Smith, Crone, Maiden.
And he just replies, yes to all.
Or delete all. Yeah, I think he does both. Well, right. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, this you said mirrors, but this piggybacks on kind of her previous thing about, like, the gods have never heard me before. Yeah. Like, she's kind of fallen away from him. But she's still there.
At the beginning here, it seems like she's like here to go to the Sept, but then we find out that she has a little pit stop she was told to make first.
Yeah.
So this is where we kind of get into next what's going on in front of her.
So Joffrey and Tyrion are both getting horse. They're already armored up. Joffrey is all in red and gold. Tyrion's just kind of in more normal stuff that makes him look a little funny because he's a little. And then there's 3 Kingsguard people with them as well.
Yep.
Mandon Moore.
Trant's one of them. He's helping Joff, and when she notes that the sun flashing off his helm is bright, shining, and empty.
Stupid.
Yep. And the other 2, one is Mandon Moore. Who's the last one?
Osmond, I think. Yep. Osmond Kettleback.
Yep.
813. Right. So, yep. Tyrion comes up and he's talking to her like, hey, like, what are you doing here? You should be with my sister in Maegor's Holdfast with all the highborn. She's like, oh, yeah, I just got to come see Joffrey first.
He sent for me.
Like a dog.
Yeah.
And then he said something like, I should have sent you off to Tommen, but you should be good enough inside. So, like, even he's a little nervous here, right?
I mean, it's you either win or you lose, you know?
Yeah, he's like, you'll be safe inside as long as but gets cut off. So we don't know what Tyrion's like, I guess, like what he's concerned about, but.
Probably so long as Stannis is on the other side of the river is probably my guess, because that's kind of even what they say later.
But I'm thinking more like as long as everyone doesn't revolt. I feel like that's probably like Tyrion's biggest feel right now too.
True. That's obviously another concern.
The other kind of weird aspect is like if say Stannis wins, like Sansa might be okay still. They're like, hey, I didn't want to be here. I'm a hostage. Take me.
It's kind of like what Cersei said in the last Sansa chapter. She was like, I love the king with Joffrey with all my heart. And Cersei's like, better learn some new songs. I don't think
Stannis is going to want to hear that.
Like that one. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's possible. She might get, a little raped first, though.
Yeah. They kind of get into a little bit of that, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is basically Tyrion says like everything might change after this, which is kind of what we were just saying. He basically tells her that like, either way, it's just going to be different after this battle.
Yep. So Joffrey interrupts him and
he shows off his new sword.
Yeah. What's a heart eater?
Heart drinker. Heart eater.
Heart eater. Whatever happened to Lion's Tooth? Did he outgrow it? Or did Arya de-sword him and he needed a new one?
Arya chucked it into the river, my man.
Well, that's true.
That thing is gone.
But I think that I never thought about this, but Heart Eater makes sense because of Stannis' sigil.
Yeah. That does make sense.
Does Joffrey say anything about that?
No, he doesn't. No.
Okay. Then I'm not as stupid, but.
Just that he's going to gut his uncle with it or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe it's coincidence too, but.
So he makes her give it a kiss, and she does. And then he's like, yeah, you'll kiss it again once I have my uncle's blood all over it. Super weird.
She's thinking about how much of a bitch he is.
Yeah.
Is this something that people did? This is weird as fuck, I think.
No, it's like kiss it for luck. It's probably not.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's like, hey, blow on these dice to throw. And
Like a kiss my ring?
No, blowing the dice is a good one.
I think blowing the dice.
Rub the cards for good luck. Or people do weird shit.
People do weird shit all the time, Nels. You know that.
She makes fun of him too. She says it's a little odd. She's like, it looks like a stupid little boy when she's doing this. But it is one of those things that it's not that out there. It is dumb, but...
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was like super crazy, but just a little weird.
But then she goes at him right here. She's like, "Are you gonna lead him into battle?" And he's like, "I would, because I'm so big and strong, but the imp says I have to never cross the river. Or no, it says Stannis will never cross the river. I'm here to stay here and command the horse." But we know from the chapter before, he was keeping him out of the battle, like as far in safety as possible.
Besides, you said that she said. Like tries to coax him into saying that he's going to be in the midst of it. But like, did you also say that? Does she like straight up like call him out? Like, when he says,
it's coming next. That's why I stopped.
The Stannis' blood thing.
Oh no, she didn't say. I think that's
before. Oh, she doesn't say that.
She said only if one of your Kingsguard kills him for you in her head.
Yeah. That's in her head. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and that's where Jeff was saying like those were the 3 Kingsguard who were going with was Mandon, Meryn, and Osmond. So if one of them did it, then maybe. But otherwise, you have no shot. Yeah, and like you're saying, we know he's not going to be in the battle because Tyrion doesn't want to. Alia dead, whether he wants Joffrey dead or not, who knows? But he doesn't want Alia dead, so he probably not going to be in the battle. They won't be seeing any action.
So what I didn't understand though, he says, "I'm going to see to the traitors myself." Is that like the criminals that or not the criminals, the war criminals, or the prisoners?
Or just all of maybe, or he's just like, I'm going to go kill everybody that's out there.
Yeah,
but he says he's only commanding the 3 whores, though.
I think that's like I'm just gonna hit them all. I don't know.
Okay.
Like I'm making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Basketballs at him.
Yeah. I didn't take it for much more than that, but
or Volkswagens.
Yeah.
I don't even see him like say they do take war criminals, like him being the one that beheads him. Like he's grown up that like Ilan is the
like
is the
I think he's just calling the enemy traitors, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to kill some. I want to be involved.
I know, but he like literally just says, "I'm not going to be anywhere near the battle, but I'm going to take care of everybody myself."
Yeah.
So that's all. It was kind of a weird line.
Yeah, he's super oblivious to what's actually happening. But
then she does go to him here. She says, "They say my brother Rob always goes where the fighting is thickest. No, he is older than you, Your Grace. To be sure, a man grown."
I'm surprised he doesn't. I know he doesn't have much time for a comeback or like.
He just gets mad, frowns, and that's it. But yeah, right? Like I expect
like at least maybe like a reflex to like go hit her. And
although he was told to never hit her, and he never does himself.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
It's true.
I think it's also like there's just not a lot of time on hand.
It's not a lot of time. Shit's happening, and they end up going right.
Yeah, but after that he says he's gonna kill Rob with the Heart Eater and turns to go.
Yep, and then she heads to the Sept, and it's super crowded.
They even say it here, right? Like when he was gone, it was like the calm before the storm. This is kind of what this whole chapter is. I feel like the calm before the storm.
The hush before a storm. Yeah.
Through the quiet, the singing pulled out.
Stillness settled over the yard like a hush before a storm.
There you go.
Yep. So she heads to the Sept, super crowded. A lot of people at the Mother and Warrior, but there are some people scattered around the other 7.
Yep.
Or other 5, I guess. 5 of the 7.
Even the Stranger.
Which one's Death, the Stranger, or Crone?
Stranger's Death.
And the Crone's just weird.
Let's go over them. Who we got? Let's lay them off.
Father, Mother, Smith, Warrior, Crone, Stranger, Maiden.
Yeah, there we go. Got them all. So there's like 3 guys, 3 girls, and then the Stranger, who's like Death, which doesn't really have genderless.
But like, so she's saying that there's people worshiping at the Stranger, and then she equates the Stranger to Stannis.
Yeah.
Well, so is this more of those people that
Antlerman, maybe? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
maybe. That's what I was thinking. Maybe not even like Antlerman, just anybody who maybe you weren't even involved with that group, but you just don't want to.
Yeah, just don't like Joffrey, which is fair. But at the same time, then she goes around and prays to literally each of them. So to put these people and say that, like they're praying to,
I think it's to the point like can you vote? Can you go to the Stranger and be like, hey, don't kill? I don't want to die. I'm praying to you to save me, kind of like stay away from me.
I don't think so.
You can say whatever you want to these people. They're not there.
From what we've learned, they're not really answering anyway.
But something I could see is maybe Sansa goes to the Stranger and says like, "Hey,
kill Joffrey."
Like the Hound. The Hound always says like, "Killing is the sweetest thing ever," right? Like he's kind of like a strangery person, kind of be like, "Hey, take care of the Hound" or something. Maybe just because the Hound relates to the Stranger. Like because when Kat went to the Sept, she was like, "Oh, Jon and Rob are the warriors, and Ned is the father." And like Ned is also a warrior, but like the way she sees him as the father. So I think Kat even sees somebody in the Stranger, but I forget.
Yeah. All right. So she goes, she prays. She ends up sitting in between
an old woman and a young boy.
And they hold hands and they start singing.
Yeah. And yeah, I think this is just kind of showing that everybody, from young woman to little boy, everybody's
scared.
Yeah. They're kind of like everyone's in this together, which is kind of what the hymn's about. And I like singing the song. So, and it's a hymn, so we get to all sing it.
Nope.
I don't know the beat. What's the beat?
It's a hymn.
Okay.
Gentle mother font.
That's what I'm saying. There's still like a rhythm to it.
Gentle mother font of mercy, save our sons from war, we pray.
That was quick, we pray.
There's commas. You can tell
so why
by
did
the commas.
You pause at we pray? You pause at commas.
Gentle mother, font of mercy, save our sons from war, we pray. Stay the swords and stay the arrows, let them know a better day. Gentle mother, strength of women, help our daughters through this fray. Soothe the wrath and tame the fury. Teach us all a kinder way.
This is what's bullshit about. Nelson's like, oh, it's just a hymn. You just sing it. And he's like throwing in different lengths of words throughout. Like, teach us all a like he's like writing notes to this shit. Like I'm supposed to just read your mind.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of how it is at church too. Like nobody can sing. It's just,
you know what I always joke about at church? At church, they have like really like long, drowned out like music, but they fit like a million words into like a sentence. Like, and on this day he was and it's just like one line of song. It's like that's way too many words.
Your door just opened. You're in trouble.
That's the truth. I joke about it all the time.
Tell Deepalm to sing this.
Danny, can you come sing?
Is this actually a song?
No,
Gentle woman. Well,
Mother. Come on.
There's
read.
a song and it says gentle woman.
All right, come on. Give us 2 lines of this.
don't do this to her.
Do you want to hear Nelson sing it with you?
He knows how to say it.
What are you singing?
No, I want to hear Nelson.
You got to go with him.
Go ahead.
Gentle mother, font of mercy, save our sons from war, we pray.
Is this God Bless America?
So Deepalm doesn't like it?
Just cutting on him. She's just cutting on him. Love that.
I feel like that's how a hymn would go.
That's not how a hymn goes.
Wow.
You gotta tell me.
You listen to Jeff just shove all the words into one syllable.
Exactly.
See, now we're all in trouble. Podcast gonna suck.
Jeff's getting kicked out.
I do have to stop talking about church or she's going to kill me. We're at a church, though, in the chapter. It all fits. They're Catholic. All right. So they sing the song, and she makes mention that at the Great Sept of Baylor, everybody is probably there, and everybody's singing. Might be true. I don't know. Maybe people are just sitting at home.
Well, doesn't she say she can literally hear that? Like when she leaves here, she can hear the singing from like across the city.
Yeah, it's probably the whole city.
For sure.
I mean, what else are you going to do? They didn't have TV to turn on.
But like, there's a handful of people that are probably like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to sleep.
I'm sure, but I think like again, the theme of the chapter is like we're all in this together. I think like even though there's traitors, even though there's this, like this is a huge city, like millions of people. Like that's ridiculously big for a medieval city. There's no like 3-story buildings, right? So this is a ridiculously huge city.
We've said this is New York for
So like they could actually, I think she can actually hear the singing from forever.
I'm sure she could actually hear it. There's definitely enough people there. It's like being like when the Eagles won the NFC Championship game, you could hear them in Cherry Hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Jeff going with deep cuts.
Way back to the glory days in 2018.
To along with that, and to along what we were saying earlier with like the old lady, little boy, she says that she's singing with everybody. There's some songs she doesn't know, but she's singing with all kinds of people. And then she's saying that like she sang for some people, which again is just like kind of showing that like it's a form of prayer.
Well, it's definitely prayer, yeah.
She sang for everybody. Bran, Rickon,
literally everybody.
Rob, Arya, John, Kat, Ned, Hoster, Edmure, Gene Poole, Robert Baratheon, Sept Mordain, Dantas Hollard, Jory Cassell, and Maester Lewin.
And
She sang
even
for all the men and women who would die and the children who would mourn them. And she even sang for Tyrion and Sandor, the bad guys. What the heck?
They've been nice to her, though. I feel like they've been nice to her.
nice to her and saved her.
Yeah.
Tyrion saved her from like the whole getting stripped naked, yeah. And Sandor, I don't know if he's been nice to her, but he has saved her for sure.
He literally saved her from the worst thing ever happening.
Yeah, maybe death in the riot.
Rape
and death.
The last thing that she does mention to the mother is to save. The Hound's not a true knight, but he saved me all the same. So kind of like what we were talking about. And then she thinks to herself too, save him if you can and gentle the rage inside of him.
Yeah. Except a special little prayer there at the end for Sandor.
Well, she definitely sees good in him, right? Like, and he's, like I said, he's been nice to her.
I don't know what you're reading. Like, has he?
He
like,
calls her stupid a lot. I feel like he calls her stupid a lot.
It's not like he's being mean to her, but like he like snuck up on her on the top of a. She's like a 14-year-old girl. He's a grown ass man. He snuck up onto her like when he's drunk on the top of this tower, and he tells her like, "Your dad got what he deserved. He doesn't know anything about life. Killing's what's good." Like again, it's not super mean, but it's not. I think
he's just trying to help her. Right? Like, I think it's like trying to like teach her,
give her the other side of life,
to get her to understand like the reality of everything that's happening. And sure, like maybe he's not doing it in a quote unquote nice way, but like I still think like he has good intentions.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to protect her and trying to help her protect herself.
100% agree. He is a definitely protective like character for her, like almost like a weird, creepy.
So maybe nice isn't the right term.
Almost like a creepy father figure, or like a weird, creepy uncle figure.
Yeah, I don't think nice is the right word. It's probably supportive / protective, and maybe not even supportive. Like, I think it's just protective, and he's like, look, you're stupid. This is the way of the world. Like, I've saved you twice now, and you better figure it out on your own, or you're gonna die.
yeah, exactly.
All right. So now she's heading towards Maegor's Holdfast, and she runs into. She can hear the sounds of war now. So she just heard the sound of prayer. This is kind of where she mentions hearing the war horns and the thud of catapults and flinging stones and people dying.
Yeah. One last thing I want to mention before on her way out, she leaves when they start praying for Joffrey. She's like, I'm out.
She bails. She's like, fuck this.
It's like pour the cup on the ground.
Yeah. Fuck this.
And she even like gives a little silent, I hope his sword breaks, shield shatters, I hope his courage fails, and all his men desert him.
Which is crazy. Like, I mean, these people have to know who she is, and then to see her get up and leave.
Yeah, the only person to get up.
But they're in the castle, right? So, like, in my mind, this is like only like the Lady Tandas and like the fancy people.
I know, but she like pushed through the crowd of people. They had to have seen her.
They probably also know. Like, he killed her. He did kill her.
Yeah.
She's still betrothed to him.
Like, Tyrion knows, Cersei knows, like, yeah, I mean, they do see her, like, more personally, and, like, they were more closely involved, but I assume most
Does
people...
anybody really like Joffrey? Is the Septon just doing this because he has to for his job?
Yeah.
Whatever. So she starts walking to Maegor's Holdfast. She runs into Lady Tanda and her 2 daughters now, so we get... Lallis has been there, and she's pregos and still sick, and Phallus is there.
Tyrion came through.
Yeah. So, what are you referencing there, Kyle?
Well, she wanted to leave, and he's like, "No, fuck that. Tell her to bring people here.
Yeah,
we need more help."
She got them a nice ham, tried to bribe him to get out. He's like, "Nope, everyone comes here." And now her other daughter, not even more. She did bring more men. They say that, but not even that. Her other daughter's now here. Like,
more people in danger. Yeah, exactly.
Why did the daughter have to come? Why couldn't the daughter have chilled at?
She probably could have. I don't know. Like, I don't know why Tyrion would have made the daughter come.
Maybe she was like, "I'd rather be with my sister and mother."
I don't know. She might have been. I don't know. I was going to say leading the men, but she's probably not that kind of.
Yeah, but Lallis doesn't want to go in. It's kind of weird. She's actually super weird.
She is being weird. She's crazy. But there's also one more person here we didn't mention.
Shay.
Yeah.
Lolly's handmaid, who looks like she wants nothing more than to throw lollies into this pit. So, like, Shay's not doing a very good job of, like, playing, like, the nice handmaid. She's being, like, clearly annoyed.
It doesn't sound like Lallis is too easy of a person to look after.
100%. So it's probably good, but like Sansa even says like, wow, this maid's clearly annoyed at this girl. But to your point, like, yeah, it seems acceptable in this situation. She's freaking out, panic attack, not going to cross this drawbridge because there's spikes on all the sides. Everyone's trying to help. Sansa helps, tries to be nice. Tanda tells Sansa that Lolly's has just been like sick lately.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
Everyone knows she's got a baby in that belly.
If a child can be considered a sickness, yeah. Which is, we heard this from Shay told Tyrion this when they were having bed time.
That it is a sickness?
Well, no. She was like, he cries all day. They say she's sick, but she just has a baby in her belly.
Yeah.
Shay knows.
Yeah, Shay knew.
Shay also said, what's her big issue? All she did was get banged a couple times.
Yeah. I was going to say, but Shay did say that, yeah.
They go inside, and then Sansa goes inside too, and she sees all the highborn women. She kind of explains it's a really nice room. It's called the Queen's Ballroom, smaller than even the King's hands.
Small hall,
but it's still big enough for 100 people, so it's still pretty big.
Still big. The other thing is that all the guards here are sellswords. They're not like true Lannisters, whatever a true Lannister is worth. Like,
is that smart? Like, what if the sellswords just like?
I think it's kind of
what they had to.
Yeah,
it's necessity.
Or you put him out in battle and keep a couple loyal people next to you.
They even Osmond and his brothers are sellswords, right? That's how they refer to those guys. Which like they seem like one of them's a freaking Kingsguard now, but like he's a sellsword Kingsguard. Like,
yeah.
Let me just that's super weird.
If you stop paying him, he can't leave the Kingsguard?
Yeah.
Was that like a trap?
Well, he probably gets paid to be on the Kingsguard, and he probably doesn't get sellsword pay anymore.
I feel like you just get free room and board. You get a tower, the Kingsguard room, and
I just have a question real quick.
Yeah.
All right. They're in a castle inside the castle, right? Once they raise this drawbridge up, They're pretty much untouchable, right?
Sure, I don't know. We talked about this last time. Stannis does have a shadow baby thing, but besides that,
forget about shadow baby. An actual person.
There's also 3 giant catapults out there.
Sure, they can start hitting their own people. Or I'm saying, like, say the sellswords raise the drawbridge, turn on Ilyn Payne, who we know is really the only loyal person that's in there. They could just hold everybody in there hostage.
Yeah. You're saying from the inside out.
For sure. And that's what Cersei's worried about, for sure.
That's what I'm saying, is send the 4 or however many sellswords there, put them out in the battlefield, keep the loyal people inside with you so you don't end up becoming your own hostage. Would just be my mind.
Sellswords on the front lines seems like a genius, if you're not putting sellswords front lines, you're an idiot. But it's, again, this whole Vanguard honor.
I think that's a bad idea, though. Didn't they already say that they break pretty easily?
I think the thing is you got to scatter them. them. Maybe you could have
loyal people out there fighting for you.
You never want one group of sellswords doing one thing, because they can just be like, all right, fuck it, let's turn.
And put one in every other platoon.
Yeah.
Just to bolster all your ranks by one. And then they get the courage of the other men from proximity.
Yeah. Or if they turn on you, fuck it, it's just one man. It's not 100 men.
Yeah.
But, all right, so she goes in. She gets to sit next to Cersei because she's the, what is the word she uses?
Betrothed.
But Cersei's not there when she comes in, right?
No, Cersei's not there, but she does notice
Ilyn
and her father's sword. Big ass sword again. As tall as a person. That's crazy.
She has she always gets a little nervous when she sees him. She's like,
yeah. Well, it makes sense. He seems like a pretty scary person, and he also chopped.
Yeah,
he doesn't talk. He also chopped her father's head off.
And now he just stands there.
Pox all over his face.
So we get one of the other kettle blacks here, Osfrid. He's here, new captain of Cersei's guard. She asks, what's this guy doing here?
Which we learn about this new Red Cloak guard. So now there's another group of dudes, and there's the Gold Cloaks, the King's Guard, and then the Red Cloak Guard.
Yeah, so the Red Cloak. So Cersei had Red Cloaks.
The Red Cloak is like Lannister Guard.
Yeah, Cersei had her own Red Cloaks, but then Tyrion sent them away with Cleos to River Run. So Cersei's now making new ones from seemingly, at least sellswords. Maybe there's some actual Lannisters, but where would they come from?
I knew about the Lannister men. I didn't realize they were Red Cloaks back then.
They might not have ever called them that before, but yeah,
that's fair.
They're kind of it's Red Cloaks are Lannister men, and then it's kind of just Tyrion doesn't have any influence over the Lannister men. So by default, they're Cersei's. Tyrion's men are Bronze men and
clans,
the Mountain Clan. Yeah, exactly. Very little of his actual physical power comes from Lannister. So anybody who's actually a Lannister is pretty much just Cersei's.
Okay.
So Sansa asks Osfrid, what is Ilyn Payne doing here? Scared of shit. And all he says is, her grace expects she'll have need of him before the night's done.
Yep. And
Sansa's like, well, whose head is he taking? That's his only job. And then Cersei comes in.
It's really why I would think he's there.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick somebody else to. I don't. Yeah. What is he there for? Is he chopping heads or is he?
Yeah.
Well,
Cersei says he's there to protect, right? So.
Well, so when she comes in, one thing I think, she's drunk, right? She has redness in her cheeks. I took that as drunk.
I just thought she had a lot of makeup.
But there were points of color on her cheeks. I didn't take it as drunk, but you do get flushed in the face when you're drinking wine. It's true.
And it's pre-battle, drunk time.
But the other thing is, they literally wake up and drink wine at breakfast. They're all alcoholics. They're literally all alcoholics.
Do they mention what time it is? I'm not sure if they mention what time it is.
Whatever time it is, they've been having wine literally at every meal. All right, give me a glass of wine.
You're right. Yeah.
Oh, you want to have a conversation? All right, give me a glass of wine. Their life is. They're all functioning alcoholics in this realm.
Yeah. So Cersei. Again, I think some of her behavior here is explained by that. She starts a conversation with a super courteous question. Is your red flower still blooming?
Very blunt.
And Sansa gets embarrassed and says yes. And she's like, how apt. Again, Cersei's also just a bitch to Sansa, so it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, it is. The line is, she would have said this no matter what.
To Jeff's point, though, not only, does everybody just drink, but, Cersei's pretty much always drinking wine when we see her. So she says, how out they'll bleed out there. Sansa will bleed in here. And she's like, food time.
Get us some broth.
And Sansa raises her question about Ilyn to Cersei directly.
He's here to deal with treason and defend us if need be. And she even says, they're just sellswords, right?
He used to be a knight. I don't know how much of his history do we know. Do you know anything about
No, I guess his name's Sir.
We know we don't. We know he doesn't have a tongue. I think we know Aerys cut it out.
we know there's a tongue, no tongue. But like I said, he's a sir, so obviously it was like important.
I think we might know why Ares cut it out, but I don't remember if we do or not, so I'm not going to say it in case it's a spoiler.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, so
yeah, I'm not going to say it.
You'll have to look up to see if it was mentioned previously.
Yeah, because it's one of those things, like, that was one of the things that'd be hard to remember if it was, like, early book one.
Yeah.
Cersei says, if Axis start coming through the door, you're going to be glad he's here. Trust that. And Sansa's thinking to herself, I'd like it better if somebody else was here.
Yeah, she wants the Hound.
Yep, the Hound.
Yeah, so like I said, I think she likes him, and I think he kind of is, like taken to her a little bit.
Couple of things about the Hound is he is skilled. Like, he's good as fuck, right? So, I mean, not that we don't know.
He's definitely top 10, top 5 of the knights that we've mentioned or that we've seen.
He's not a knight.
Or top 5 fighters. So
fighters. And he has protected her in the past.
He literally saved her from a mob that was...
Yeah. Risked his life for her. Yep. So then Sansa's like, but what about the guards? And she's like, well, like...
Fuck those guards.
Who's going to protect us from them? These people are loyal sellswords as rare as virgin whores. If that battle goes the other way, like, this room is fucked.
They're tripping over each other.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Like chaos. Because and that's what, I mean, Tyrion said it. Everybody knows it. Like, they're not going to fight to the death for these people if it's already lost.
She's like, do you know what happens when a city is sacked, Sansa? I was like, no. You read Lord of the Rings, not Game of Thrones. You don't know how it fucking goes, bro. It's bad.
Did you ever read Lord of the Rings, Nelson? I feel like there's probably some bad stuff in there.
Well, I've read the first 2 books, and I'm going back and restarting because I never finished it. So I'm restarting.
I actually have those books now, so I might just read them instead of watch them with you.
Thing is, it is not like what they say about one of the things they say about Lord of the Rings is Tolkien will spend 2 lines to describe an entire battle, and 4 pages to describe a hill. So it's a different kind of book. I don't think I want to read it. I don't think you would like the first.
I got these books for like a Christmas gift in like middle school, and I might have read like a couple of chapters of The Hobbit, and then just never opened any of them.
Which isn't even part of the trilogy.
I know.
The trilogy is not even like a trilogy. Like, Tolkien wrote it as a book, and they split it. Like, he wanted it to be all one book, and they split it up. But like, it definitely picks up as it goes in terms of like stuff happening. And it might just be because you feel more connected with the characters, but there's always just like a lot, like kind of how like George does Feast sometimes. And you're like, dang, I don't need a whole page of this food. It's like that for like 20 pages.
Yeah, Kyle, tell us how you feel about George doing Feast.
I mean, he didn't do it right here. So
I'll give him you know what I'm talking about. He goes over top on
We're
Feast.
Not reading this. I know what you're talking about. Kyle hasn't read that part.
Feast. He goes over
definitely been. Oh, they had cake and they had side of ham.
Oh, I thought you meant the book. I thought you meant the book Feast of Crows. You literally
no. He's saying like feast in the book are always like he goes into and writes about every piece.
I thought you meant just like a random chapter in the book. I'm like, what the fuck? How does he know that book? All right, so one last time, Sansa plays the girl again. Like, no true knights would harm us. We're just little girls and women.
Yeah. What Cersei calls her, she's like, you don't know. Like, you think everything's a song.
Cersei says back to her, oh, true knights, huh? Pretty much? Like good fucking luck. They don't exist. Like, and that's pretty much that's what Jaime is saying, right?
And what the Hound was saying.
Yeah. I know. But it's like this. That was Sansa. We like to draw parallels between characters.
Yeah,
right?
I don't remember exactly what you're saying.
Jaime was saying it to Cat.
Yeah, he said it to Cat. He said, I mean, like, I'm fighting for what's right for me.
Like,
you're fighting
for
what's right for you. Like all the rules.
Yeah,
all the rules conflict each other.
His oath thing. Like how am I supposed to defend the weak?
It's the third person that has basically told us that a true knight doesn't exist.
Yep.
The Hound, Jaime, and Sansa or Cersei.
Yep.
So. Kyle, you excited for the Battle of Blackwater?
The what?
Battle of Blackwater.
The Battle of the Blackwater? I don't even know what the Blackwater is.
It's the water next to King's Landing.
Where they were like setting up the ships and whatnot.
I got you. I'm using context clues. I figured it out. Right. Yeah, like I said, that was what I was hoping this chapter was going to be a little more of. But here we are, at the end of the chapter, and all we heard was a couple, screams.
Again, at the risk of being too spoilery, and I'm going to... The next few chapters we get are we'll get another Sansa one pretty quickly here.
There's several battle chapters.
I figured as much.
Yeah. Several battle chapters like back to back. So we're going to be in King's Landing for a while.
I mean, we made it through 57 chapters of this book, and there hasn't been a major event, right?
Not that we've seen in a POV other than like Shadow Baby.
What I'm saying though is that like we haven't had a major like
and the book's almost over.
Peak climax event yet. So this kind of has to be it, right?
I mean, but like last book we didn't really have this problem. Right? Like his last
Ned
book.
at the end was
Ned
like,
got his head chopped
Sure,
off.
there was a climax moment, but like we had moments where it was like Sansa, Arya, Ned. Like we had 3 chapters in a row all in King's Landing like before. Like we haven't had chapters in the same area.
I guess people are more split up now.
okay. I think you're saying a different thing, but okay.
But really before then we only had King's Landing in the north.
Yeah.
And
People are
Danny.
spread way out.
You know, now they're fucking boom, 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 boom. We added more POVs. We got Theon. We've got Davos. We've got more people. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So.
I just get excited when people get near each other.
I get what you're saying. That is kind of neat to see like multiple different sides of the same thing and the inside of what's happening, you know, because Davos, I'm sure, is going to be the one side of the river and Tyrion will be the other side of the river and Sansa's in the castle. So, I mean, you got a pretty wide net. So that does make it more fun. But we'll see.
Do you have a prediction of how it goes down?
I mean, it's not going to go well for anybody.
I feel like we've done this a bunch of times because we like I said, I've said
yeah,
this
but
before.
we're closer now.
Yeah, we know it's like on the doorstep now. Like
we know one guy's on one side of the river, one guy's on the other.
Fuck the prediction this week. What I'm going to say is what I'm most excited about for is this chain, man. Where the fuck is this chain?
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Do they use the chain or they just forget about it?
Yeah, it's on the other side. Probably it's on the north side of the castle.
Turns out Tyrion sold the chain in order to buy all these sellswords. That's all the chain was for.
Yeah, we also haven't seen any of this fire yet either. The alchemist fire.
It's true.
Big questions. Wildfire. Chain and fire.
So those are the 2 things I want to see. Like Nelson said, we've gone through this 100 times. My prediction hasn't really changed. It's going to be a war. Somebody's going to lose. Probably going to be Stannis. So I guess my guess.
Yeah.
I can't feel like the Lannisters get pushed out of the city just yet.
Okay.
Like I said, I hate doing it, but I do it every week where it's my prediction is based on like the writing rather than on events. Like what would make a better book, make a better story.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like
that's okay. I mean,
I don't know how else to do it because like we don't get all the insight here. But
yeah. All right.
I do see something happening in this room though. I guess like I think there will be an uproar. Like maybe not massive or whatever, but it might be a couple people or a couple of the antlered men or
kill
whatever.
The queen.
Yeah, and Ilyn does something, but who knows?
All right, let's see. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see very shortly. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see the rest of you guys in the spoiler section, which again, all backwards today, but
doesn't matter. They didn't know that.
They will. Well, you said it in the spoiler
You
section.
said again. They're not going to know again until later when you say it.
Well, they said it. Well, yeah, whatever.
This will be the first time you've said it to them.
You'll be confused for a second. It'll all make sense at the beginning of the spoiler section. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Davos 3 next time. I don't know if anybody ever cares, but
bye. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
See you later, Kyle. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next episode for Davos 3. Now, on to the spoiler section for Sansa 5. Jeff, what are your hot takes? Also, tell the people what's weird about this episode.
What's weird about this episode? So what's weird is that we are starting spoiler first.
We're recording backwards. Yep, we've done this before.
We're recording backwards. And it usually works out pretty seamlessly.
Yeah, not too bad. But yeah, there might be... Sometimes we mention stuff that we talk about with Kyle. We won't be able to do that this time. So if there's anything that Kyle says that we're like, I want to talk about, it might just come out in the next one with the Davos, which is absolutely also a banger. Next chapter's a banger.
I don't think... I don't know if there's much to miss, to be honest.
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah.
Like Kyle's going to spark something. We're like, oh, fuck. Unless we just forget.
I mean, there's a few little spoilers in this one. I got a few little notes here. Do you have anything?
I got some just like weird kind of quotish things that sparked my attention, I would say.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Editor Nelson here. Before we see what sparked Jeff's attention, like we were just talking about, there were a few things that we mentioned in the non-spoiler that just had me on the edge of my seat going, I need to say something, but I can't. And because I know some of you guys probably were listening saying, Nelson, you idiot, how did you not know this? I can't believe you didn't mention this in the spoiler section. Well, like I said, we recorded backwards. So here are the 2 things that Kyle mentioned that I really wanted to that I normally would have written down and brought up in the spoiler section. Firstly, he says that the 3 whores aren't trebuchets. I think they are trebuchets. I'm pretty sure they're described as both catapults and trebuchets at different times, but by different people. But they're definitely described by trebuchets at some point. So they're either described as both or only trebuchets. So when Kyle was like, they're stupid for not making trebuchets, they are trebuchets. The second thing is, Kyle had pointed out that Joffrey at one point says, I'm going to go see to the traitors myself, but had also mentioned that he was going to be commanding the horse. At the time, obviously, I was pretending like, I don't know how he was going to do both those things. Or when he says traitors, he means the enemy in general. But it's actually kind of cool that Kyle brought this up, because what actually happens is Joffrey has the antler men, the traitors from inside the city, tied up naked with antlers down to their head. And he's going to be launching them from the 3 whores. So when he says deal with the traitors and commanding the 3 whores, he actually will be doing both of those things together. And one of the cool things and funny things why that's important is when Tyrion, in his second chapter of this, so 4 chapters from here actually is the next Tyrion chapter, when Tyrion's actually out there before he gets his nose cut off, one of the bodies of the antlermen falls and splats right in front of him. So just kind of all gets tied together. Like the fact that Joffrey's flinging the antlermen from these trebuchets is brought up here in the very first chapter of the battle and in the second to last one with the Tyrion getting his nose cut off. So just wanted to bring it up that like it was eating away at me when I was editing that I wasn't going to be able to mention the spoiler section. So figured I'd stick this in. Take it away, Jeff, from the past. What quotes intrigued you?
The first one, I believe, in order, is Joffrey calling her over like a dog.
Yeah, like come here.
Just because he does that with the Hound, and we're kind of keeping our eye out for Sandor. What the fuck do we call it? Sandor. Sansa.
Joff kind of does that to everybody. He's just like a dick. One of the other things I had with like the Joff Sansa thing is like, so like in this chapter he makes, and again the other thing is like it's kind of harder to come up with spoilers. Like it's easier to do the spoiler section sometimes because we just went through the whole chapter chronologically. I mean, we both just read it, so. But like Joffrey makes Sansa kiss his sword, right?
Right.
I mean, and George does this whole sword penis parallel.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know. I think there's kind of like this. Maybe I'm just being super gross and reaching here. This whole like kiss it now. He says you're gonna come back and kiss it when it's bloody. I think that has maybe something to do with Joffrey taking her maidenhood, and then we find out basically at the end of this battle, Marjorie doesn't show up, but the Marjorie deal is basically in place at the end of this battle, and all of a sudden Sansa's gets out of having to not do that. And also when he says like kiss it, she's like fuck you, I'm not gonna do that. Like no. Right, she basically says no.
She does kiss it. What do you mean?
She kiss it, but when he says like you're gonna kiss it again after I kill my uncle or something like that, right? When it's bloody.
I don't remember her saying no to that.
She doesn't. I don't think she says it, but I think she thinks in her head.
She changes the topic to will you lead your knights in the battle, and then she gives the slate about her
quote?
brother.
Like he says you're gonna kiss. You're gonna kiss it
only if one of your Kingsguard kills him for you.
Yeah. 3
of the White Swords would go, and then just kind of
which is pretty much being like fuck you. That's like That's more talking back to Joffrey than she's done in a while.
Yeah, she is pretty. I mean, shit's happening, right? He doesn't have too much time to like beat her up and whatnot. But
discipline her here.
She is super in her own mind, just like against him. I'm trying to think of the word. It's not sarcastic, but just like fuck you. Like, yeah, you're gonna die. Like, or you can't fight. Like that person will fight for you.
Yeah. You don't think there's anything to the sword thing, even if it's not the deepness I'm saying, like to the whole like sword penis parallel. Him saying like kiss my sword. Like it's a weird thing to say to. Isn't it a weird? I don't know. I didn't grow up in medieval times.
I mean, if it was like about her maidenhood, wouldn't it be like if you betray me, I'll fuck you with the sword too? Like I don't.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, hey, my sword's clean. It's gonna be bloody. It's like I'm gonna fuck you. Take your maidenhood.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not pulling that.
Again, I think that's a stretch. I think there's something to the whole sword penis parallel.
I think it's weird that it's Stannis' blood. It would be Stannis' blood and not her own.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, how does that fit into the maidenhood thing? But yeah. So that was the first thing. Did you have that? He was treating her like Sandor, like basically dog. Come over here, but she didn't. He didn't say dog, but like she refers to it as. Yeah. I don't want to get off the Hound quick. She thinks of the Hound multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So while we're on the Hound, I have some Hound ones.
She just wishes he was there a bunch.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go to that one. So she thinks, what's my note say? Thinks and prays for the Hound after singing the hymn for the mother. Right. So she sings this hymn. Then she thinks like, even the Hound and Tyrion. Right. Well, later in the last Sansa chapter of the Blackwater, it ends with her going into her room and finding the hound's there.
Yeah.
He's about to rape her. He's about to rape her and murder her.
You think?
I'm pretty sure he tells Arya this later. Like, I was there to rape her and kill her.
Interesting.
And then he's like, you promised me a song, sing a song. And he's like, give me Jonquil and Florian. It's a song you always think about. But then she can't remember it or she's too flustered. And the only song she can think about is this hymn that she sings right here. Right? Which is all about like being calm and peace and just like chill the fuck out. Gentle mother. Where is it? Gentle mother, font of mercy, save our sons from war, we pray. Stay the swords and stay the arrows. Let them know a better day. Gentle mother, strength of women, help our daughters through this fray. Soothe the wrath and tame the fury. Teach us all a kinder way. It's like a like peace among men song. And the hound, who's wasted as fuck, is crying by the end of it. By the time she's done singing, and doesn't rape her. And he leaves.
She brings back that poem in. How many chapters is that? How many chapters of
there's seven? There's 6 Blackwater chapters. So right now we have Sansa, then we have Davos, Tyrion, Sansa. So 3 of the 6 are Sansas. The next one's her with Cersei, and then again the last one is the Hound one. And in between there we got Davos, Tyrion.
Wow, I am kind of curious to read the one where he tells Arya that he was gonna rape and kill her.
Maybe I can find that and put it in the Discord.
That's just not in his character.
Onto your hound thing.
Yeah.
She literally sings the song. And then right after that thinks this thing where she prays for everyone she loves. And then these last 2 people. Right. And the thing that I think is interesting is besides the hound, the other one is Tyrion, who she ends up done marrying. One nice thing for her. He saved her when she was being like stripped.
Yeah.
But she's going to marry him. Right, so I think there's a huge, foreshadowy thing here.
How about Tyrion, too? What's Tyrion say to her? This day may change all for you as well as for House Lannister. Which, after the Blackwater, she's gonna marry. Like, it can't be that far after that she ends up being with Tyrion instead of Joffrey.
One thing is, I forget when it is, but Sansa thinks that I hope Joff's sword breaks and his shield shatters.
Mm-hmm. That's when the Septon is saying prayers like just for Joffrey. Yeah.
Did you think anything of that quote when Sansa thinks that? So who's Joffrey's shield?
The Hound. He breaks at the battle.
Like breaks, shatters.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a stretch. I saw it. Sometimes I feel like the English teacher who's like really grasping at straws, and you're like, I don't know, English teacher.
Do we get a point of view that sees the Hound run away?
Yes.
Or we don't know?
Tyrion comes up to him and he's like, get the fuck out there. And he's like, no, you get the fuck out there. Somebody bring me wine. And everyone else is like, yeah, we're not going out. And Tyrion's like, fuck it. I got to do. He like commands.
Right. I do. I remember.
He's going to like command Mandon more. And he's like, Mandon's a great warrior, but he's not a leader. He's like, fuck. And he's like, if I'm a half man, then what are you if you won't do it? And that kind of shames people into going. He doesn't really give a big speech, a huge speech like he does. There's a little bit of a speech, but it's pretty much I'm a half man. That's what does it. Like, you guys got to step up. I thought it was a little call to him, to the Hound breaking when he says, I hope his sword shatters and shield shatters.
Who would be a sword? The guy that tries to kill is the sword. The guy that tries to kill Tyrion.
I think the Hound's kind of his sword and shield. You could look at it that way.
All right. So it's Septon Mordane's quote about the gods, about the mother, and
many faces of the same God. Whose voice will they hear?
Do you have that, or is that just?
I mean, I remember the quote from the chapter. I didn't have it in my spoiler notes.
I mean, I don't have a spoiler. It's just like curious of like, oh, you have 7 gods, but actually these 2 are actually one, and they have many faces. Or 2 isn't many, but it's more than one.
Yeah, last night I was taking notes on the Davos chapter, and he definitely prays to the warrior at least once. I think he has to pray to the mother probably at some point as well. But it seems like the 2 big ones in this battle are the warrior and the mother. In the first Davos chapter of Storm of Swords, when he wakes up on this rock, also Kyle, I think, is supposed to believe Davos is dead after this next Davos chapter.
Yeah.
He basically sees like a burning wall of ships and he's like, fuck it, I'm fucked. And then it ends.
Yeah. And he ends up diving in the water, right?
Next thing we know, he's away. He's on a rock.
He's washed up on a rock. Yeah.
And he's praying. In that chapter, he prays to the mother, and he like, a lot of people think he's just hallucinating, but he like thinks for sure the mother answered him. So that's why, like, when he comes back in Storm of Swords, he's even more fuck you, Melisandre, because he is convinced the 7 are real because he just talked to the mother on this rock. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think which makes me think he probably prays to the mother at some point during the battle, especially like after the wildfire goes off, which is kind of where I'm at in the notes taking. He has to realize his kids are dead while he's swimming around and like probably pray to her for them. But I'm not, again, I don't know.
He doesn't have a very good, the battle doesn't go well for
it. Does. I mean, clan. I just finished reading it. It's like, and again, so taking notes the way, like reading the chapter the way I take notes, like so slow. It's so interesting because like I actually like get a really good picture of like where the ships are. Like when you read it, you're like, oh, these 3 ships are smashed together, and then this happens, and then this happens, and Davos is ramming this.
Yeah,
ship.
I mean, you're drawing the picture
like,
up.
Exactly. So because I'm drawing the picture up, and that's why I kind of want to do it, because I think it'll give you guys that.
You have a
again,
visualization.
Like the one example, and maybe you would have caught it, but there's a point where it says like ship, Lady Shame, Lady of Silk, some other ship were all like grappled together in a 3-ship thing that was just kind of like spinning in the water. And then like there's like 4 paragraphs in between, and then Davos finally gets through. He like shoots arrows at one ship, and he's like, he was looking for something to ram, and he saw the side of Lady Shame, right? Which if you were taking notes and like planning everything out, you realize, oh, that's one of these ships that's spinning with these other 3. So then when he rams it, he like backs out and water starts flooding in, and he's like,
yeah.
Or when he rams it, it says it knocked off men 3 ships away. I'm like,
yeah.
When I was listening to it on audio, when I was listening to it on audiobook, I listened to that part. I was like, how the fuck did that happen? But when I was taking notes on it, I was like, oh, they're grappled together. That makes a ton of sense. It's badass.
You realize that they're bound together, just like Sea of Thieves.
Exactly. That's another reason I like that. I'm a big pirate ship guy. One thing I had early on, I forgot to bring it up. Joff says his uncle will need mercy, but he won't give him any. Again, I think this is one of those things where it's true, but he's talking about the wrong uncle. Tyrion is also Joff's uncle. Joff's talking about Stannis. Mm-hmm. Tyrion's going to need mercy, whether it's immediate, like he will in the battle.
Oh, I thought of this too. Like he's about to die. Yeah, I'm about to kill him. I was
thinking it applies to the battle, but it also applies to like maybe the trial next chapter or next book. Tyrion's life just goes to shit.
Yeah, I mean Joffrey's not there for that, so. I thought that too. Like, it's obviously supposed to, like, Kyle's going to think it's for Stannis. And I immediately thought, like, well, that's not the uncle that actually ends up. Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously Stannis is getting attacked, but he doesn't seem like he's ever in true danger. He gets away pretty easily.
To me, it's one of those things where I think Joffrey's talking about Stannis. I think it's like a George thing, right? George is playing with the words here. Yeah.
Agreed. I agree.
I thought for a second you were hinting that Joffrey was, like, behind the Man and More thing. And like he's telling Sansa here, like, oh, my uncle's gonna need mercy, but I'm not gonna give him any. Like, kind of being like, oh, I wink, wink. I told Mandamore to go slice Tyrion's face off during this battle. That's not what you're saying. You're saying he's talking about Stannis. That's a George thing.
But like you would pick it up on your second one, like,
after you know what happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's all I really had was I forgot that note. Just Sansa being really close to the Hound, like Ilyn Payne, I guess, is another kind of weird one. Like, we know Ilyn Payne's not there to defend her. He's there to kill them all.
Yep, that's the last one I have. So, and Cersei tells Sansa this. She tells her this in the next chapter. So Cersei gets drunk. She shows up drunk in this chapter, drinks in this chapter. Sansa says her face is red.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know that. We don't know that she was drunk.
It
could be hot, but sure. Flushed with wine. All right, I'll take it.
She's flushed with wine. And then in the next chapter, also, question for you. I'm jumping ahead to the next Sansa chapter. One of the best quotes in all Game of Thrones. First season, I'm going to see if you can guess it. First season, Robert says it to Ned.
Is it when they're just sitting out in the field?
They're having a serious conversation, I think, in King's Landing, in like Robert's room. Just him and just the two of them, though.
About their first kill?
He says, drink, your king commands you. Is that in the books?
Yeah. No, because I don't think we ever get that.
Ned's with Rob.
I don't know.
I don't think it's in the books. But in the next Sansa
chapter,
Cersei
go, you drink, your queen commands you to drink.
So I wonder if they took that from Cersei and gave it to Robert, which, I mean, I think that quote's badass in the thing, but I think it would be even more badass if Cersei did it. Why? Robert's like kind of pissed at Ned, and he's like, is it? Maybe it's not Ned. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is the show only because it's not Ned. For some reason, I think it's Ned.
No, I think it's Ned too. I think it's Ned in the show for sure.
I'll do a quick Google. They're in the tent before
after the breastplate stretcher. It's literally like no one's going to go out there and fight you. Is that kind of? I don't know if they talk about anything serious.
Ned turned back. Robert took up his horn again, filled it with beer from a barrel in the corner, and thrust it at Ned. Drink, he said brusquely. I have no thirst. Drink! Your king commands it. So it isn't.
Cool. What's next? What comes next?
Ned took the horn and drank. The beer was black and thick, so strong it stung the eyes. Robert sat down again. Damn you, Ned Stark. You and Jon Arryn. I love you both. What have you done to me? You were the ones that should have been king. You or Jon. You had the better claim, your grace. I told you to drink, not argue. You made me the king. You could at least have the courtesy to listen when I talk, damn you. Look at me, Ned. Look at what kinging has done to me. God's too fat for my armor. How did it ever come to this? There you go.
Okay. So it's literally just him becoming a soft king.
I think Cersei is when she's talking about not being a man, or is when it's literally what she's getting pissed off about. She's like, I should have been a man. This would not be a problem if I was a man. I think it's kind of what she's saying. Now drink. Yeah. So there you go.
Dude, it's got to be known that Cersei would be much better king. Not king. Better. She'd be like Jaime. She'd be a Jaime. She'd be slicing people up.
She'd be Jaime. Yeah, exactly. I think her being a man would make her like less resentful of everybody else, just because I feel like a lot of what her resentment comes from is about her gender. Because
she has to be a woman and be, attend to the gender structures of their world. Yeah,
she'd be not as angry all the time. She'd be like Jaime. Yeah, like Jaime.
Yeah, exactly. Do whatever she wanted.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit of Tyrion too. Maybe she'd do a little bit of whoring around because she could.
Yeah. So, but the last thing I had was you touched on it. It was the Ilyn thing that she tells him.
Cersei tells Sansa it's for protection. If like the sellswords turn on them, or if like someone gets in the door, like what's one guy gonna do? Like that's just stupid.
Yeah.
The other stupid part, or not stupid part, but she thinks of the Hound when she was like, "Hey, again, I wish." Ellen's here to protect us. She was like, "Oh, I wish the Hound was here to protect us." So it's just like
good point. Yeah,
her wishing for the Hound. Yep. So, all right, that's all I had. Not too big.
Me as well. Yeah, longer than I thought though. It'll be a short chapter. Probably was a short spoiler section already that we already did with Kyle. That was so fun.
Yeah. I mean, it'll just be the chronological get through it. I don't think it's too much at all. So, all right. We'll see you guys in the next one on Davos 3, where we really kick off the Blackwater.
Bye.
Winter is coming.